Shalom, and welcome once again to Elders GMS, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And we're going to go back to the topic that we left off the last time, which was understanding the book of Genesis. And I believe we left off at Genesis, the 3rd chapter, and the 16th verse. So let's read.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
Yeah, and I think I went over that last week, and I'm going to go over it again. Basically, that's talking about when a woman is pregnant, she goes through her labor pains. And that was a curse that the Most High had put on all women. So Edomite women get labor pains, the Israelite women get labor pains, Moabite, Ammonites, all women. And that goes to show you that all people come out of Adam. All right? And then it goes on to speak about how thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Rule over thee, meaning he's going to have dominion over thee. All this 50-50 nonsense, man. He's going to have dominion over me, over you. Now, in the kingdom of heaven, everything that we read about is everything's going to be put back in order as soon as this damn devil goes down. All right? You got something?
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is the Most High.
And that's it. That's plain and to the point. Like I said, order's going to be restored when the Most High established the kingdom and established his people, the nation of Israel. Now, I don't give a damn what these clowns say out there. Clown Israelites say that, well, Esau's going to be in the kingdom. Yeah, they are going to be in the kingdom. Esau and the other nations, but they're going to be slaves in the kingdom. All right? Go ahead.
Back in Genesis 3 and 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat.
Yeah, it said that he listened to his wife. You can't listen to your wife. Your wife is not built to tell you what to do. You're supposed to tell her what to do. That's the order. That's why the Most High is getting ready to destroy this system, this wicked, evil, confused society. Go ahead.
1 Timothy 2 and 13. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression. Notwithstanding, she shall be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety.
That's right. Now let's go back. Go ahead.
Okay. This is back in Genesis 3 and 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord Power make coats of skins and clothe them. And the Lord Power said,
the coats of skin and clothed them is really talking about their identity. Now, they weren't being called Hebrew Israelites, but when they came back in the reincarnation, they came back in the line of Israel. Because during the time of Adam, they were called the sons of Adam, or Adama, which means the sons of the ground. Then they were called Hebrews, because you had different families of the Hebrews, and then you had a separation among the Hebrew families. And give me that one in, I believe it's in Philippians 3, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's Philippians 3 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. Hebrew of the Hebrews. Is that it? All right, go ahead.
This is Philippians 3 and 5. Circumcised the 8th day, of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin.
You know what? Start at the very top.
Philippians 3 and 1. Finally, my brethren, rejoice in the Lord. To write the same things to you, to me indeed is not grievous, but for you it is safe. Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision.
Right. Beware of dogs, beware of evil workers, beware of the concision. Like, I'm going to give you some examples. Patak, Sarge, James, Tony, guys that we got nicknamed for a lot of these guys, and many others that have, came into the fold, but then they had showed that they were wicked, and either they left or they were kicked out. All right, go ahead.
For we are the circumcision which worship the Most High in the Spirit, and rejoice in Yahushua, and have no confidence in the flesh, though I might also have confidence in the flesh. If any other man thinketh that he hath whereof he might trust in the flesh, I more. Circumcised the 8th day, of the stock of Israel, of the tribe of Benjamin, and Hebrew of the Hebrews.
Right. And Hebrew of the Hebrews. Now, when you go back to the families of the Hebrews, you had more than one family of the Hebrews, all right? Out of Ibar came these different families, and then these families his sons, and out of his sons came other sons, and then out of that lineage, out of that line, you had that one Hebrew family that eventually became what? Israelites, because Esau is a Hebrew. Elam is a Hebrew. Elam he's a Hebrew too. I believe he came from Shem. He's from Shem. All right. Right. Ishmael is a Hebrew. Moab, Ammon are Hebrews. So you had the sons of Keturah are Hebrews. The two brothers of Abraham are Hebrews. So you had a lot of Hebrew families. So when Paul said, I am a Hebrew of the Hebrews, meaning he wasn't a Edomite Hebrew, he wasn't a Moabite Hebrew, Ishmaelite Hebrew, he was a Hebrew Israelite. So we call ourselves Israelites, but we also call ourselves Hebrew Israelites. All right, go ahead.
And Hebrew of the Hebrews, as touching the law, a Pharisee.
Yeah, because you got guys saying that if you're a Pharisee, you're wicked. Now, Paul just said, as touching the law, a Pharisee. Paul called himself a Pharisee. So is Paul wicked? Pharisees and scribes were officers going back 2,000 years ago and before. Scribes wrote things down. You had the Levitical priests and so forth. But then you had people in that office, or Israelites in that office, that were just plain wicked. Go ahead.
Concerning zeal, persecuting the church, touching the righteousness which is in the law, blameless.
Okay, now let's go back to where we left off.
This is back in Genesis 3 and 21. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord power make coats of skin and clothe them. And the Lord power said, behold.
Yeah, the coats of skin and clothed them is talking about their identity. Now, we did a special on last week on the GMS in Transit entitled, I think it was Ezekiel the 38th chapter. Was Ezekiel the 37th chapter. And basically there's a verse in there, we don't have to go into it, where it tells you about dry bones and flesh coming on those bones. Well, that's our identity of who we are. So the Most High did make a